sections. Just try to build independence with one hand and the other, because when you get into some Southern gospel stuff, you have, let's see, you'll do arpeggiated chords like, do you know who Anthony Berger was? Ever heard of him? I'll also give you some names to YouTube, so you can start looking them up and seeing some of their techniques and stuff. He did a lot of this type of thing. That was one of his intros, or he would go. I mean, it's just like, you'll have lots of those kinds of things in some of it. Rolling tenth exercises, spend a lot of time with that, get independent. Learn, even if you're not doing a tenth, like if you go into B flat, it's hard to do a tenth there. Just do the, because what I'm going to do as we move through lessons, we'll keep adding that in different keys. Because I want you to be just like familiar with wherever you're going. Mm-hmm. So start it in C. If you get brave and want to move to F and G, do that. Just hit the 1, 4, and 5 in every key. Okay. Any one-hand arpeggiations? You do any of that yet?
One hand.
Like. Okay. Make sure this isn't. Okay. Part of it is where you start the arpeggiation too. If you start it on the root position, it's a little harder to do. A lot of times if I'm doing an arpeggiation in C, I'll start on the 5th and I'll go something like that, or sometimes this, and then it's just practice. You get used to getting your fingers to land where they need to land. Okay. I'm not going to get into too many of the runs and the licks and that kind of stuff until we get a base of some improv ear training going. That's the most important thing. So this thing will be a really good exercise, because what I'll do, as soon as you get that idea down, then we'll go into a song like When We All Get to Heaven. Octaves and bounce, okay? This exercise helps us get to. Okay. Once we accomplish that, we can move it a little farther. And it's just the arpeggiation like I talked about. So those are things that we'll get to, but I want you to kind of get comfortable with just being able to know where you're going with the chord. If we need to, a good way to start is to take a piece of music, like out of the hymnal, make a copy of it or something, and then write in 1, 4, and 5, go through and analyze the chords. So when you're playing, you can look at the 1, 4, and 5, say, okay, I'm changing chords here to do that. That way you can get used to what hearing, I've got to change now, and also seeing it if you need to. Okay? Now, I want you to pick a song that we can start working as more of a solo type of a feel. It can be anything. Probably for what I'm going for, not as much classical, because to do some improv and stuff like that. So pick a song, be thinking about it, pick one, so we can start working some improv and some and then we'll start some accompaniment patterns as well. When I played with Kim Sunday night and I started on the bottom, I was doing, it was just it's just syncopation. It's the 1, 5. It's just it's a slur. But what you do is you rock it with the chord members. sometimes you can play the melody like that. But you got to get used to that. Together. Those are concepts that we'll begin working on. Just the simple accompanying patterns are like, notice some syncopation in with it. It's like oompa, 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 oompa. Gets to more of your older classical Southern gospel. There's not a lot of that they play anymore, quite like that. Okay. So pick a song. Go ahead and write this down. Choose a song that you want to start learning to improvise with.